Hey, what's up everyone, Star Ray here, and welcome back to another Steelers recap. Yesterday, the Steelers had a close game with the Falcons. They only ended up winning by 3 points when they should have probably won by a couple more touchdowns. But yeah, it was 19-16. So yeah, I don't know if you could hear my voice, but I am not that happy with this win. I feel like this win, we won, so it's good, but I feel like there's a lot of issues that we need to correct going into next week, especially if it's going to be against the Ravens, who look like they're going to be out with Lamar Jackson. So I mean, it's going to be a good game, a game that we should win. Very I know the Steelers are in that tanking season, or like a rebuilding season, rebuilding season, but it's still, a game that I feel like it's a divisional game. It's a rivalry game. So yeah, the next game against the Ravens is going to be huge. Not a must win obviously, but just motivational win. And yeah, I think next week's gonna be really big, and if we want to win next week, we gotta fix some of these issues. So yeah, before we get into all of that, make sure you like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more Steelers recaps. Win or loss, we do these Steelers recaps and you do not want to miss them if you're a Steelers fan, so make sure you like and subscribe. So one of the things that I think we need to work on going into next week is our defense. Our defense did a good job holding them to mostly field goals, but in the third quarter and somewhat in the fourth, our defense really did just look like they stayed in the locker room at some points, and it looked really bad in the third quarter when they went down for the touchdown. It looked really bad. I thought this was when we were gonna lose the game, because it looked like the Falcons were gaining momentum on the drive when the Falcons scored that touchdown. Our defense was rested. The Steelers had the ball for a pretty long time before the Falcons got the ball for that touchdown drive, so our defense was really rested, and that's the part that's really scary, because it just looked like the Falcons, Marcus Mariota and them kind of just picked them apart, and we couldn't stop the run. And yeah, it was looking very bad in the third quarter. And this is an issue because I've been saying our defense has been pretty bad, but I've been always saying that it's because they're tired, because our offense is so not on the field for so long. They're only on the field for 40 seconds, and then our defense is playing the rest of the quarter for the whole game. Basically, it felt like the ratio between offense on the field and defense on the field was heavily on the defense, it felt like, for most of the beginning of the season. Very, our offense has been pretty good, so I feel like it has evened out a bit for both on-field time for our offense and our defense. However, this one, it looked very scary, we couldn't get a stop. So yeah, our defense didn't really get a stop. We did hold them to field goals and one touchdown, but it just felt like if the Falcons were a better team, if the Falcons were any better of a team, they really could have stole this game. They could have won this game very easily, because our defense was not stopping anything. They were not making any plays at all. However, they did make the biggest play of the game in the fourth quarter to pick off Mariota and end the game. And yeah, that just kind of feels like the Steelers defense as of late. They just kind of don't play good, and then in the fourth quarter, when they need to make a play, they somehow make a play, even though they're blowing plays left and right the whole game. So that's kind of just how it's been for the past 2 years, I feel like. But going into next week against the Ravens, if Lamar is there, they can't do that, because I feel like Lamar is going to take advantage of us. But if Huntley's in, I feel like we do have a chance in that game, so it's going to be interesting. I think our defense really needs to step up next week, though, regardless who's playing, if we want to win that game. I think Huntley's a really good backup quarterback, so give him a week to prepare for the Steelers. I feel like it's going to be a challenge for us. So yeah, defense needs to step up next week for sure. But they made a huge stop in the fourth quarter, so gotta give them a slow clap for that, one. But yeah, our defense needs to step up. Another negative I want to talk about is the passing game. Kenny Pickett had a decent game. I wouldn't say he had a good game, but he had a decent game. He kind of game managed this, I would say. However, he was getting everyone involved in the receiving game. Pat Fryermuth got involved, Deontay Johnson got involved, Connor Hayward had his first career touchdown, Jalen Warren was in there, Benny Snell was in there, Gentry was in there. Everybody was getting catches. However, even though everyone was getting catches, there is one person that was missing for a majority of the game, and that is George Pickens. And this is an issue because George Pickens was very upset on the field and on the sideline because he wasn't getting the ball. George Pickens only had one reception, and I think it came in the third quarter or fourth quarter, and it was a little flat route that ended up for only 2 yards. It was really nothing. It was a throwaway play. And yeah, George Pickens was very upset with his receptions. He wasn't being targeted. There was some plays where he was pretty much open, and Pickett didn't throw to him, even though he was getting mad and everything. I don't think this is going to be an issue going forward. I think George Pickens was more upset that this game was pretty close. This game was really close. Like I said, the Falcons, if the Falcons were any better of a team, they really could have won this game. And our offense was game managing in the second half. It feels like they stopped going. Like, our offense in the first half was one way, you know, we were aggressive, we're pushing the ball down the field, and in the second half it felt like we went away from that. And I think that's why George Pickens was mad, because our offense was slowing down and we are getting 3 and outs, and he feels like he could have really helped the offense, you know, get a first down or more, you know. And it's really weird that George Pickens wasn't involved in this game and Johnson was, because George Pickens was kind of Kenny Pickett's favorite receiver. If you look at his receptions in the past games, he had 3 in the Colts, he had 4 in the Bengals, and he had 3 in the Saints. So yeah, I just think that George Pickens was mad because Kenny Pickett wasn't throwing to him and he wasn't getting involved and he wasn't really contributing to the offense. And another reason why I don't think this is going to be a really issue going forward is because when I looked at the interviews from Kenny Pickett and Mike Tomlin, they didn't really talk about it like it's anything, you know. No one really even asked questions about it. So I feel like this is maybe just more of like a Twitter thing, or just, you know, an outsider thing, where it just looks like George Pickens is like having problems with the offense, and it's maybe not really like that. You know, when Kenny Pickett said that, you know, he's just passionate and he wants to get involved and he wants to help. So yeah, I think next week against the Ravens, he'll be more involved in the offense, and I'm sure he's gonna help because he makes amazing catches when he is thrown at him. So yeah, that was one of the issues I had with the passing game. Another issue is Kenny Pickett is overthrowing and underthrowing balls again. This is an issue because he missed Freiermuth for an open touchdown, and with the game being so close towards the end, a touchdown really would have solidified our win for this game. And Kenny Pickett was also underthrowing balls. He missed one to Deontay Johnson, and he even missed one early on in the game to George Pickens. So yeah, this has been like a weekly thing that I've talked about with Kenny Pickett, is his inaccuracy. He's just overthrowing balls and underthrowing balls. However, he did show improvement with the Connor Hayward touchdown, where he kind of threw it perfectly to him. And yeah, I said it last week, I'll say it again. I think this is just something that's going to improve over time as he gets more comfortable with his receivers and everything. And one more negative thing I want to talk about with the offense is Matt Canada's love with jet sweeps. Matt Canada loves to do jet sweeps, and they work sometimes, you know, but he does them so much, and they're so like just predictable, because they'll have like Gunnar O come in, and Gunnar O doesn't play any snaps on offense unless he's gonna do a jet sweeps. So it's just like so predictable that I even know that he's gonna do it. So I can only imagine that the defense knows as well. And we did the jet sweep twice with Gunnar O, and he only got 2 yards. So it's like, I don't get why we keep on doing it. And yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like we started to just game manage the game, even though I don't think we should have, because our defense isn't that good where we can just get a lead and then we can just hold the lead. Our defense isn't that good. I think it's been shown that our defense hasn't been that good this year. So I feel like we really need to keep our foot on the gas, you know. Even if we have the lead coming out of halftime, I still feel like we need to push, because our defense just isn't good, and our offense really isn't that good to just game manage. We really need to go down the field and, you know, not really try to settle for field goals. So yeah, that's where my issues with this game. I feel like we just need to improve on these things going into next week against the Ravens. All right, enough talking about the negatives. Let's get into the one good thing that I have for this week, and that is the rushing game. Najee Harris made his return after missing Monday Night Football, and he looked really good. There was that run in the second quarter where he stiff-armed that man all the way to the ground. It was pretty funny. It was all over Twitter. Yeah, Najee Harris looked like he was back. And it feels so funny saying that, because the last time I talked about Najee Harris was during the Bengals game, and in the Bengals game, he didn't look good at all. So yeah, it's been an up and down year with Najee Harris, but he looked really good this game. And I think it really came down to our offensive line holding up for Najee. Like, he had, like, when watching the game, he had tons of holes to run through, and Najee really made the most of them. He had 17 carries for 86 yards, and he averaged 5.1 yards per carry. So yeah, Najee Harris looked really good. You know, even Benny Snell got involved a little bit, 6 carries for 24 yards. Steven Sims got involved, 3 for 19, and even Kenny Pickett, I guess you can say, you know, he had 7 carries for 14 yards. Not a lot, but he was there, you know. So yeah, rushing was really good for us this week, and that's like the one major positive I have for this week. So now we move on to next week against the Ravens. ESPN reports that Lamar Jackson will undergo more testing on Monday. Harbaugh said the team will know by Wednesday if he will be able to play on Sunday. Harbaugh also said that it's going to be a number of days to weeks. By him saying that, I feel like there's a chance that Lamar Jackson isn't going to play even if he's technically cleared to play. I feel like the Ravens are going to play it safe and probably rest Lamar and, you know, bet with Huntley that they can win, because I feel like the Ravens have bigger goals than just winning this game. I know it's a division game, but I also think that, they have postseason in mind, and Lamar Jackson is the offense. We know they have no receivers, so it's Lamar Jackson or bust, essentially. So yeah, I feel like they're probably going to play it safe, and there's probably a good chance that Huntley is going to play against us. However, that's just kind of my guess and my assumption. I also thought the Bears were going to rest Justin Fields out for the rest of the season, and he played this week. So, I'm not that good on guessing what teams are going to do. We're just going to have to wait until Wednesday to figure out if he will play or not. So yeah, that's going to be it for the Steelers recap. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also leave a comment and tell me how you feel about this win against the Falcons. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next Steelers recap. Goodbye.